Hey finders, and welcome back to Fortune Finds. Today we're going to be doing a foundation wear test video, and I'm so excited to do this because I feel like we haven't done a foundation wear test video here on my channel in quite some time. I'm very much looking forward to applying this foundation with you, taking you guys with me throughout my day, and seeing how this foundation holds up in a 10-hour wear test period. Now, while this is not the newest foundation, this one has been on the market for quite some time. It is pretty new to me. I did buy this NARS Sheer Glow Foundation a couple months ago, and I just haven't really given it the chance that it deserves. I am pretty curious because being that this is a dewier, naturalier, I have no idea how you say that. More natural. Is that how you say it? Probably. I'm curious to see if it does slip and slide, if I look really shiny by the end of the day, because right now I am wearing it and I feel like a girl looks shiny. I look shiny, I look ready, but I'm feeling fabulous. You know, the power of makeup. Most days I don't wear makeup, and the days that I do wear makeup, I sincerely feel like I can conquer the world. So I just want to say that if you're not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe. Also, be sure to click that bell button next to the subscribe button if you would like to get a friendly little reminder every time I'm uploading a new video here on my channel. So with that being said, you've subscribed, you've rung the bell, then let's go ahead and hop into this NARS Sheer Glow Foundation wear test. It says in very bold letters that this will create an iconic glow. It's a sheer buildable foundation with a natural looking finish. It leaves skin hydrated, softer, and smoother. When used daily, the Sheer Glow Foundation improves the skin's brightness and texture. It is paraben alcohol fragrance free, leaves skin perfectly hydrated thanks to glycerin, which is known for attracting and holding on to moisture, vitamin C, which helps to brighten the skin and diminish the look of discoloration, 40 shades, which is always great. 96% say that it evens out their skin tone. 100% says that their skin feels soft and smooth. 92% say their skin feels moisturized, and 79% says it hydrates skin throughout the day. We're going to find out about that. Tarte Clean Slate Primer that I'm going to use to help fill in my pores. So I'm just going to take this and push it into those little holes on my face. Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. And I'm just going to put this all over my skin. Here is our foundation, and I'm in the shade Vienna, which is light 4.5. This foundation is not sold with a pump. The pump is sold separately, which is a little bit unfortunate. This is $47, and then you have to add $6 on top of the $47. It's just kind of pricey, but I do love that it's very eco-friendly. You know, if I do end up loving this foundation and want to buy it multiple times over, I will be saving that plastic that is the pump because I can just reuse it. I have used this both with a sponge and with a brush. It really depends on my skin's texture during that day. If my skin is really dry, I will go ahead and apply it using a sponge just because that sponge does pack a little bit more moisture. And then if my skin is hydrated and pretty good, which is not the case for today, I do like to go ahead and use it with more of a cat paw brush, so a flatter foundation brush rather than like a dense foundation brush. Apply Sheer Glow with fingertips, starting in areas where more coverage is needed. The warmth of the hands and fingers helps to blend the foundation for the most natural finish. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do. And I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm going to push this in the areas where I need the most coverage. So anywhere where I have a lot of discoloration. So for me, that's really around my mouth, and it kind of like stretches, like you can really get it to stretch because this is such a thin foundation. So I could see not having to use a lot of this, and I could see this foundation lasting a long time. If you have deep pores, I would definitely make sure to use a pore filling primer. Usually dewier foundations, they tend to be a little bit less forgiving when it comes to pores. It kind of just highlights those types of imperfections. I mean, matte foundations can be, you know, very unforgiving as well. It really just depends on your texture of your skin. I have combo leading dry skin, so I tend to like a dewier foundation rather than a matte foundation. It is kind of bunching up on my nose a little bit, which for me is my troubled area. I have very dry skin on my nose like all the time. I'm going to use that damp sponge just to pat it in a little bit. I do like how the fingertips applied it. I think the fingertips applied it better than a sponge has and a brush has. Like I said, the only area that I'm kind of having a little bit of bunching, I don't know if you can see, is my nose where I have some dry patches. But that looks really pretty. And it looks like my skin, but just better. It looks way more even. I do think that I will have to go ahead and spot conceal some sections, like over here where I have some redness, just to perfect it to my liking. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna fast forward, finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I will let you guys know my initial thoughts on this foundation as soon as I'm done. All right, guys, and this is my full face of makeup. I'm on and ready to take on the day, but I definitely have a few things that I would like to make note of. As you can see, I've pinned my hair back, and that is simply because this foundation kind of feels very wet. I don't like it when my hair sticks to my face. Oh my God, I look so shiny in this lighting. Do you see how shiny I look? Which for me, I don't hate that, but if you're someone that just doesn't like to look shiny, I really don't think this foundation is for you, because I have a feeling I'm just gonna look shinier and shinier throughout the day. I'm hoping that now that I've lowered these lights, you can kind of see my pores in here. You can kind of see it highlights the pores. My face does look textured, I'm not gonna lie. My highlighter looks a little chunky. It's kind of like sitting on top of my skin, whereas this highlighter typically melts into my skin. I also want to show you my fine lines. You know, this foundation is so thin that it will move. I would just powder anywhere where you don't want your foundation to move. I do have a lot of dry skin on my nose, and it has done a nice job of hydrating that dry skin. So I will say my dry patches are a little bit less noticeable now that this foundation has been on for a little while. It does kind of feel more like a moisturizer on my skin, so it does feel a little heavy, and if that's something that bothers you, then I would definitely keep that in mind before buying or trying this foundation. Initially, I think that this is a beautiful foundation if you are someone that likes a very natural look. If you are someone that has a lot of pores and imperfections on their face though, I might think twice about this. So I will check in with you guys in a little bit and we will see where we're at. All right, guys, here we are. I've been wearing this for 2.5 hours, and I always find it to be really helpful when I show you guys what I look like in natural lighting, as well as not only on my camera, which is what I filmed most of this video with, but also on my phone, which is what I'm using right now. So I don't know about you, but I feel like I look pretty shiny. However, I think that the highlight is less cakey. I feel like it kind of adjusted to my skin. It kind of melted into my skin. It still definitely feels heavy on my skin. You can see a lot of my pores. It kind of shows a lot of texture, pimples, anything that's raised. So it kind of makes the dry skin disappear, but kind of makes any bumps or lumps a little bit more noticeable. Like, see, I don't really have a lot of pimples, but you can just see all of that texture. Like, it kind of just accentuates anything that's raised on my skin, and also the pores. I feel like my lines look really awful. I feel like this foundation definitely moves.
You know about that night diaper in the fridge? I really hope we don't bump into one of those bull sharks.
I have to say, like, in the camera, it looks not great. Like, I don't look great. Skin looks really textured. You can see all my pores. It's kind of bunchy around my chin, and the lines on my head honestly look a lot worse than they typically do in real life. For like photos and just like picture perfect skin, I have to say, like, I don't think this is it. And I feel like it makes my texture a lot more noticeable. I totally know what you guys are gonna say. I know what you're gonna think, and you're gonna think like, girlfriend, no, this doesn't look good on you. And you know what? I wouldn't blame you, because looking at myself in my phone, like, who wants to look like this? You know? I really like the light coverage though. I hope that makes sense. And I enjoy knowing that this has vitamin C in it, it has glycerin in it, so it's helping to definitely moisturize my face, tone my face. Like, did I have these pimples before? I don't really know. Can you see? I look really shiny, but I don't mind it. Like, I feel like it looks really fresh. I mean, you can still kind of see my imperfections. I hope you guys can see this on the camera. It doesn't feel as heavy as it did before, so I think it has started to like become one with my skin. I find that things after the 8-hour mark are usually like a maker or a breaker in terms of whether or not this foundation will be long wearing or not. I mean, it definitely looks pretty. My skin looks really dewy. It looks healthy. It looks glistening. Let me ask you a question.
Okay, ask me a question.
What do you think about my foundation?
I can't see it through your phone.
Well, you need to look at me.
I can't see through your phone though.
You need to look at me precisely. What do you think about it from this distance? Let's go with that.
Don't love it.
Okay, well, it's only gonna get worse from here. What do you think about it up close?
I actually think it's better closer. I mean,
You're usually better at this.
ew. It looks a little cakey
Where?
around your mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it looks a little cakey around your mouth, but other than that.
Do I look shiny?
Oh yeah, definitely, but I thought that was on purpose.
Do I look shinier than usual?
Yes. I mean, when you walked into the kitchen, my first thought was, oh, they were outside. She got sweaty, so.
Okay, so I look like I'm sweaty.
A little bit.
Thanks so much.
Sorry.
All right, guys, this is the 10-hour check-in, and I have to tell you, I'm very excited to take off my makeup. After I asked Mike about his thoughts on my makeup, I referred to myself as the Tin Man because I'm so shiny, and he said that that is the perfect reference. So my pros and cons, my final thoughts, what do I think about this foundation overall? I think that if you have oily skin, you are not going to like this foundation. It is going to slip and slide, and it's never really going to absorb into your skin. It's just going to kind of sit on top of your skin. I think if you have dry skin, you will absolutely love this foundation. Personally, for me, I don't think this is a really great foundation for me in the summer, just because while I do have dry skin, I do get oily in certain sections of my face, being around my mouth, on my chin, and on my forehead, which is also areas where I do sometimes get dry. So my skin can be a little finicky. If your skin is the same, you will definitely like this foundation more in the winter or in the months where your skin is more dry rather than in the months where your skin is more oily. And you know, honestly, just the fact that I know there's vitamin C in it, it has glycerin in it, it's helping to hydrate and even out my skin tone, does honestly make me like it a little bit more. This is my mask, and it really didn't like transfer that badly on here. I mean, granted, this mask isn't too tight. It is kind of loose fitting on me, but it didn't get like all over my mask. I did powder those areas of my face because I knew I would be wearing a mask. So if you are wearing a mask, regardless of what foundation it is you're wearing, just make sure you powder enough where the mask is hitting your face. I just think it's a little unforgiving in terms of my pores, and it is unforgiving in terms of my fine lines. I think if you are someone that is younger, or you are someone that just naturally has really supple skin with very few pores, very few pimples, very few fine lines, I think that you will really like this. Going forward, when I do wear this foundation, I will definitely be sure to take a sponge with me, a beauty sponge. This way I can go ahead and tap the excess foundation or my excess oil out of my fine lines, and then I would grab a translucent setting powder and a brush like this just to go ahead and take away any of that excess shine. I mean, it definitely lasted. The coverage is definitely there. It just did kind of slip in certain places. It bunched in a few places that are my typical issue spots. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it and you did find it helpful, then please be sure to leave it a thumbs up down below. If you have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe and also ring the bell before you leave. Leave me some love in the comments. Let me know. Have you ever tried this foundation? What do you think of it? What are your thoughts? Does it bunch on you? Is it too oily on you? Do you end up looking like a Tin Man? Or do you like it? Let me know down below. Also, let me know what is your favorite foundation. I would love to know. I had a great time as always. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, Finders. Mwah.